Hello, this is Wheels and Squeals. Today we're going to change a water pump on our 67 Thunderbird. We was headed to the parade with it over the 4th and it threw the water pump and we lost all the antifreeze. Let's go over here and I'll show you some of the tools we need to get this project done. We've got, of course, our screwdrivers. We'll need a 9/16 end wrench, a 1/2 inch end wrench. We'll need a 3/8 drive ratchet with a 9/16, a 1/2 inch, and a 7/16 socket. And then we'll need a small 3/8 drive to get into some of the tight places. And then as we go on, we're going to tell you what these things are for. We just made those this morning, but we'll show you what those are a little bit later. Disconnect our battery. We should always disconnect the battery when we're working on it. We've already taken the fan shroud off. We got that out of the way. Now we've got to take our fan off. And as you can see, the water pump is like shot. That's the water pump, and the bearings are all out of it. So we got that bolt loose. We're going to go ahead and get this pulley out of the way because we're having trouble getting the fan bolts out. So we'll go ahead and take this pulley off. Make sure that you remember or take a picture of where your parts all go, because there's quite a few of them when you've got air conditioning on an old vehicle like this. So there we go. There's that. We'll grab the belt off. It should just come right out of there. Okay, there's our fan. We're going to just get this pulley off of the water pump, and now we're down to the water pump. And as you can see again there without the pulley, it's shot. Okay, now we're going to try and get this alternator off, because it's got the brackets that hold it to the water pump. So we'll go ahead and get that off next. Okay, now we've got the alternator out of the way. So now we're going to work on our air conditioning bracket here that we took the pulley off of, and now we'll go ahead and start taking the air conditioner off. We've about got the bracket off for the air conditioner pump. The air conditioner line for the pump, there we go, it's just a single line. Okay, we've got all the bolts out of this bracket now, so that should just come right out of there. I said we had all the bolts. We still have one more left right here. And then that bracket's going to come out. We're about there on that. Okay, there's that. That bracket's out of the way. Okay, now as you can see down in here, we're down to the water pump. We've got most everything out of the way, so pretty soon here we'll just be able to pull the 4 bolts out and drop that water pump. Okay, to get the water pump bolts out now, we're going to need this 1/2 inch extension and this ratchet and a 9/16 socket. There's 4 bolts holding the water pump on. Okay, we got the water pump bolts out, and I've kind of broken it loose. So now it should just come out of there. We just got our bottom hose on it. There's our water pump. We got her out. Now we're going to get a new one and see if they match. Just for your curiosity, we're going to go ahead and take this old water pump apart, just to show you what the inside of a water pump looks like. Alright, we're going to go ahead and we've got all the bolts out of this water pump. Normally we wouldn't take it apart because it's just junk and we're going to throw it away, but I wanted you guys to see what's inside of a water pump. If you haven't seen, you've got this part goes around in there, and back behind this side you've got some vanes that fills it with water, and as it rotates it pushes the water out the radiator hose and through the engine. And later on we're going to try and cut this apart and so that we can see what's inside. Okay, now we're going to see if this water pump fits and is the same as the old one. So we'll see how good AutoZone is here with their parts. Let's take a look. Here's the new one. They sent us some gaskets, so we do have the gaskets. And here's the water pump. Let's compare it to the old one. There we have it. Turn it around so it's the same. We've got these holes. We've got the fitting for here. And we've got these. And the new one is nice and tight. Great job, AutoZone. Okay, now we're going to start assembling back the new water pump. We've checked it against the old one. We're going to go ahead and put some copper spray gasket. It just helps them seal a little better. We'll spray this on both sides of these gaskets. We'll let that dry for a minute. Now while our gaskets are drying, I'm going to show you what we made these for. These are going to, we're going to put these into the engine block where the water pump goes. We'll just put 4 of them, 2 on each side. Just like that. Now we can go ahead and just slip the water pump on there. We'll put our gaskets on, and then we'll put the water pump on, and that'll hold it there so that everything don't fall and the gaskets come off. It's just a good guide. Okay, now we've just put our water pump in place. We've got our studs that I was telling you about sticking out right there. Now we're just going to take each one of those out like this. They just turn out by hand, but that held our gasket in place, helped us line up the water pump. So there's one of the studs, and now we're just going to put one of the bolts back in. Now we've got a bolt in. Now we're going to go ahead and do the other 3. Okay, now we've got all those 4 studs out that we did. So now we're just going to go ahead and tighten this water pump up, and we'll do it evenly, back and forth, and we'll rotate. So I've got this one just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll go over and we'll do this one just a little bit. And we'll do all 4 of those and get them all tight. Okay, now we're going to start hanging on all of this, the rest of this hardware. And I'll just show you here. This stuff will just go on, and we'll just put all that on. Okay, now that we've got our accessories on, like our air conditioner, and we've got our pulleys on and stuff, now we just need to put the fan and the pulley and our belts on. And after that, then we should be able to button it up and make sure everything's tight. So we'll go ahead and put those on. Now we've got everything tightened, the belts on, the hoses on. So now we're going to go ahead and fill it with antifreeze. Okay, now we've got all our fluid in, we've checked our belts. So we're going to go ahead and hook our battery up. But it should be ready to fire and test the system. We may have to purge it to get some of the bubbles out. Okay, we're ready to start it now. Go ahead and start it. All right, now we're just going to let it sit there and run, check for leaks. Okay, we're all done now. That's how you change a water pump in a 1967 Ford Thunderbird with a 390.
Feel good to have your hair blow in the cool breeze?
Right.
I don't know, I'm just dying to know.
That's a big old light.
Camera crew coming in.
Holy smoke. Where'd that bolt go?
Who knows? We'll find it later. Yo, I got you, bro.